भारतीय कैथोलिक युवा संचलन केंद्रिक समिती मंगळूर DSS 2021-22 70 आणि 25व्या वर्षाच्या उगडासाक DSSच्या सर्व युवजनांचे जाणवाई वाढवचे पासोत मांडून हाडटा कोलक्वी म्हणजे कार्यगार वा शिकपासाल. Seeking knowledge is like opening doors, and we know the doors are everywhere. It takes the right eyes to find the door. Are you thirsty for knowledge? It's now time for you to quench your thirst with the fluid called knowledge that will flow in your hearts and minds and will leave an imprint for a lifetime.
Have you heard about Toastmasters Club? Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide networks of clubs. Joining Toastmasters will improve your speaking skills, build leadership qualities, and maximize your potential and enjoy an unlimited personal growth. The mission of Toastmasters International is to empower the individual to become effective communicators and leaders. Joining the Toastmasters Club will provide a very supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. Today, we have an eminent personality, a very bold and beautiful Toastmaster Sunita Pereira, the president of Toastmasters Mangalore Club for the year 2021-2022. Sunita Pereira has over 20 years of experience as an English teacher and trainer. She has taught CBSE curriculum in high school, technical and business communication in college, and English as a foreign language to graduates of engineering trainees from East Timor. She holds a master's degree in educational technology and English literature, as well as post-graduation diplomas in social media communication, guidance, and counseling. She is particularly interested in how current research in cognitive psychology can improve and enhance the teaching-learning process. She is a life member of ISTD Mangalore Udupi chapter and a long-standing member of Toastmasters Club Mangalore. She completed a grade 8 certificate in communication skills from Trinity College, London, and in addition to public speaking, her interests include dramatics, creative writing, desktop publishing, and music. She plays both the piano and the guitar. Currently, she coordinates the ENACT program, which she conceptualized and introduced in 2 schools during the academic session 2019-20 in Mangalore, which meets the needs of the learners for the future. Sunita Pereira has been Toastmaster for past 12 years. You wanna know why? Let's listen to her.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be speaking to the members of the Indian Catholic Youth Movement, Mangalore Diocese. I'm Toastmaster Sunita Pereira, President of Mangalore Club for 2021-2022. I've been a Toastmaster for the last 12 years. Why? That's what I'd like to share with you. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches communication and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs, more than 15,000 in 149 countries. The Mangalore Club is an important part of this network because in Toastmasters, everything revolves around the club and its members. Every club provides a learning experience by giving members opportunities to take up communication and leadership roles. We practice communication skills, by following a program called Pathways that is now completely online. Pathways has different speech projects that are both interesting and challenging. We deliver these speech projects in front of club members and then listen carefully to feedback and evaluation from a fellow Toastmaster so that we can improve. We also take up short 2-minute impromptu speeches on topics that are presented on the spot. And what about leadership? Every time we have a meeting, club members volunteer to take up different roles so that the meeting is well organized. Each club also has a group of 8 leaders for 1 year. In Toastmasters, we refer to them as board members. And once you are comfortable in the club, there are plenty of opportunities to interact with fellow Toastmasters from other clubs by taking up roles both in communication and leadership. Communication and leadership skills help you build your confidence and personality. Let me introduce you to 9 members of my club who will discuss the 3 essential parts of a club meeting and then share their experience in Toastmasters with you. Toastmasters Della, Princita, and Sean will talk about speech projects. Toastmasters Yonel, Fiona, and Disha will discuss evaluations. And Toastmasters Benzita, Neil, and Bhavishya will explain why we take up those short 2-minute speeches. Let's begin with speech projects.
The most important and integrant part of Toastmasters is the speech project. Leadership skills. Each speech project has a purpose and objective that enables a person to structure their speech and deliver it with utmost confidence and skills you already have, which in return impacts the audience. Prepared speech helps us organize our thoughts systematically, gives us a guideline to transit our ideas in the speech, prepares us to use effective language, and we become aware of connecting with the audience through eye contact and gestures. Focus on intonation and facial expression. And as time flies in Toastmasters, we feel comfortable speaking to an unknown audience. Typically, speech projects start with an icebreaker, where you introduce yourself to the club for about 4 to 6 minutes. Speech projects then move on to evaluation and feedback, research and presentation, and then depending on the pathway chosen, you get to explore the different electives. Most of it usually lasts within 5 to 7 minutes. This time limit helps us speak within a constructed time and ensures that the message has been delivered to the audience. Lastly, we have a role of an evaluator who helps us with constructive feedback and areas of improvement, which shapes us to become better in public speaking. To understand prepared speech in a better light, we have our very own Toastmaster Princita, who will deliver her Level 1 speech project from the Presentation Mastery pathway. The purpose of Toastmaster Princita's speech is to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Toastmaster Princita of Colors and Songs. Of Colors and Songs, Toastmaster Princita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Della. So a book I really enjoyed reading and loved to bits was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. And among its many wonderful contents, what stood out for me was how Death, the narrator, spoke in colors. He described events not in terms of times or dates, but what the color of the sky was when they occurred. And sucker that I am for anything dreamy and nostalgic, of course I love this aspect of the book best, just like I loved it when spells and magic and fantasy stories relied on music and songs to be casted. So, in Death's fashion, I present to you an icebreaker. A big chunk of what constitutes the color wheel of my existence is the color amber. I associate it with my family, with comfort and loud bursts of laughter. We are quite a weird bunch, with my jovial mom, goofy dad, sarcastic sister, and good old me. What am I, you ask? Well, I'd say the apple of their eyes, happy, energetic, and awesome. Not necessarily in agreement with their versions of lazy, moody, but kinda nice. Oh well, it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? Anyway, they have been my primary influencers, and almost all I am today, I owe to them. My schooling has been another large aspect, and I relate it not just to a color, but probably an impressionist piece of art. I've spent 14 years at St. Agnes, and this place has seen me grow from a shy yet active kid to a confused but laid back adolescent to a nervous and physics crazy 12th grader. Here, I also made a bunch of close friends I associate with the happy, reliable shade of sky blue. Along with my interest for physics, they are probably among the best things that I got out of school. The next 3 years were again a mix of colors, as vibrant and subtle and unique as the pretty skies of Sompura, Bangalore, where my college, Azim Premji University, was located. The last 3 years have probably been my most influential and defining. I went there a rigid, awkward, and extremely confused kid, but over the past 3 years, I've seen myself grow into a more open-minded, accepting, and calmer version of myself. And it was probably thanks to all the wonderful and warm people and the community I encountered there. Being 21, that's about it as far as my history goes. So what next? I could tell you my likes, dislikes, and aspirations. But what I think I will tell you instead are the lyrics to a song. Who are we? Just a speck of dust within the galaxy. I heard Keira Knightley sing 3 years ago. And that thought really stuck with me. Because, sure, I love reading, watching anime, drawing, finding new music, watching my mom dance, debating with my sister, old red buildings, coffee, cats, hugs, hats, and a million more things. I also despise nails on a chalkboard, crowded buses, sweaty days, arrogant people, cockroaches, and so many other things. But as the song says, what does it all amount to? Does it amount to anything at all? And I realized how cool it would be if at this point I could tell you my life-changing, mind-blowing conclusion. But unfortunately, that is not the case. What actually happened was that I kind of forgot about it all and went back to watching a bunch of movies, I read books, spoke to different people, listened to more music, had fun experiences, made mistakes, memories. And by the time I watched the famous scene from the movie, Perks of Being a Wallflower, with David Bowie's masterpiece playing in the background, I had begun realizing it myself. My ridiculously simple answer. Who cares what it all amounts to? To us, we matter. And so in those moments that we live, really live, as David Bowie puts it, we truly are infinite. So I aspire to live in those moments. Thank you.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Princita, on completing your Level 1 speech project. So this was just a snippet of how a prepared speech is prepared and delivered within a given time. Prepared speech has its own benefit, isn't it, Toastmaster Sean? Could you shed some light on how it has helped you?
Thank you, Toastmaster Della. Prepared speech projects basically has helped me in organizing my speeches. I would like to share a personal story. So back in school, studying, we have presentations, and I was not a studious student. I was an average student. We used to get like 59, 60, 58%. That doesn't mean that I was lazy. I was working hard, but I didn't know how to study. Okay. So I remember giving my speech, and then in schools, you don't have a good way of feedback. I mean, you have feedback, but it's not specific. People will tell you you did well or you did not do well, or they'll just tell you so that it satisfies you, you know. But in Toastmasters, the best part is you have various forms of feedback. You have somebody uh, giving feedback for the whole speech, and you have an hour counter who's going to count the number of hours you did, number of the other mistakes you did. Okay, and then you have a grammarian who's going to give a word of the day, and who's going to mark the words which you used, the phrases you used, and is going to tell you at the end of the speech. So there are so many new forms where you are constantly growing here. Okay, going back to the college place, let's say you gave your 100%. Okay, and on the stage it might come up to 50%. But here, even if you give your all, and then again you have because of the feedback session, you can give your speech again, and then it can come up to 65%, 70, 75%. It can just grow, and it's a constant place where you're constantly growing. It's not like a one-time movement where you do it for marks and then you go. It's a constant place where you grow. So that is something so interesting of Toastmasters for me. Yeah. So Della, what is it about you? Tell me.
Yeah, so Toastmasters, Sean, prepared speech has helped me organize my thoughts. I've been able to be more focused and also speak within a given time. And it has given me more confidence to deliver my speech in front of the audience and also, give a powerful message to them. Yeah.
Can't agree more. What about Princita?
Prepared speeches like Della just said have also helped me structure my thoughts and make my point clearly. Something that's an invaluable tool when it comes to like writing essays, teaching science, and so on. So being able to practice on your body language, speaking skills in a non-judgmental, zone like MTM has like also definitely helped improve my speaking skills overall too. Yeah, so that's how prepared speeches have helped me in MTM.
That's great. Why don't we see how the evaluation process goes? What do the next?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sean. Evaluation is at the heart of the Toastmasters educational program, where you observe speeches of your fellow club members and offer evaluations of their efforts, and they do the same for you. If you truly want to improve your public speaking and leadership skills, you must learn how to give and receive helpful evaluations. The term evaluation is described as the information about reactions to a product or a person's performance of a task, which is used as the basis for improvement, such as the evaluation you have given your peers about, say, an activity they organized, or the evaluation you have received from your boss about a task you did not do so well. Effective evaluation, both positive and negative, is very helpful and can benefit the giver, the receiver, and the organization at large. For the giver, evaluation given constructively can promote effective learning and continued learning through others' experiences. For the receiver, evaluation taken positively can improve performance and become a source of motivation. The entire organization benefits from evaluation in order to remain aligned to goals, create strategies, improve relationships, and much more. What do you think, Toastmaster Disha?
I agree with you, Toastmaster Fiona. Evaluation is a very important part of communication. Toastmaster Yonel, why don't you show us by evaluating Toastmaster Princita's speech? Normally, the evaluations in Toastmasters last for about 2 to 3 minutes, but today, evaluation will be done for 2 minutes only. Over to you, Toastmaster Yonel.
Toastmaster Princita, if I had to wrap up your evaluation in a couple of words, all I would say is it was fun, but deep. A speech one may have to dwell on to appreciate the beauty of it. Toastmaster Princita's objective for this speech project is to introduce herself and learn the basic structure of a speech. Without any doubt, you met the objectives of this project. Your speech had a good opening, body, and a conclusion. Let me highlight your strengths. You have a conversational style of speaking. To substantiate the way you said, "What am I?" you asked. Well, I'd say apple of their eyes, happy, energetic, and awesome. Not necessarily in agreement with their versions of lazy, moody, but kind of nice. Though it's a speech, it feels like a one-on-one conversation. You ensure that the audience has a smile throughout your speech. And trust me, this is no small achievement. You have an art of striking a balance between obvious and subtle humor, focusing on the nuances, what you are as a person, what you say, and the way you say it are in sync. Your tone brings out the authenticity which is much needed for an icebreaker speech. This is a powerful tool in your arsenal, especially when you wish to deliver an emotional speech. I have a couple of recommendations for you. No doubt your speech is excellent, but it sounds like a speech without full stops. You need to consider having a few intentional pauses so that people can digest and relish your speech. You have a couple of references which I'm sure mean a lot to you, but the audience may fail to get the depth of it in a 4-minute icebreaker speech, unless the references are widely known. But nothing can take away the care you take while crafting your speech. The way you play with words, for example, when you describe your family, we are quite a weird bunch with my jovial mom, goofy dad, sarcastic sister, and good old me. Trust me, you have your way with words and it's evident throughout the speech. To conclude your icebreaker, it has the elements of a very good speech. And in my opinion, this speech is too good for an icebreaker. Best wishes for all your future projects.
That was a very interesting and critical feedback, Jan. Evaluations are the fertilizers of our growth and development, says Bob Fay from Bedstone Olympics Toastmasters Club. Learning to give feedback constructively is an invaluable tool in the corporate world. We come across many situations where we require the receiver to take the given suggestions without being defensive. This is very important to facilitate positive change and improvement. Evaluations need to be simple, encouraging, and yet effective. Also, to evaluate efficiently, listening is a key factor. The listening skill is very essential in the corporate sector. Evaluating improves our ability to see the individuality in others and to see a person's unique point of view. Mastering this technique will allow you to identify the talents and proficiencies of your team members and assign them appropriate jobs to match their talents. And not just this, but self-evaluation is also an important aspect at your workplace. Self-evaluation helps you gain greater insights and set future goals for improvement. Feel more confident about your abilities, be more valued, and be motivated to learn new skills. The Toastmaster evaluation process can help you out with all of these. What are your thoughts, Toastmaster Yonel?
Talking about the role of the evaluator and how it helps me in my professional life. In an advisor-client relationship, listening plays a key role in addressing the requirements and concerns of the client. The hallmark of a good advisor is the willingness to confront the major anxieties of his client. The first step to do this successfully is by listening. Now, listening seems very easy, but it's extremely challenging. As an advisor, it's important to understand if the client's thoughts are in sync with the words. Focus needs to be placed on understanding the context, and attention needs to be paid to the details as well. Just like reading between lines, you got to hear between words and sentences. Improving on this specific skill at work may be too expensive in terms of less impact. At Toastmasters, taking up the evaluator's role helps you in honing your listening skills and giving appropriate feedback to the speaker. The more deliberate you are, the better you get as an evaluator. Your growth as an evaluator is directly proportional to the higher impact while addressing the concerns of your client. Toastmaster Fiona?
That's right. In professional development, Toastmasters evaluations can help you improve your performance immensely. But this is also true outside of your profession. When receiving feedback, you will get to know and appreciate different perspectives. There is a story about two children who sat facing each other with a rubber ball in between. While one child said that the ball was blue, the other argued that the ball was red. The two kept fighting to the point that they began to fight each other when the ball rolled away. Turns out that the ball was half red and half blue. Appreciating perspectives can help you enjoy a better experience. Think about the last time you asked your friend or a peer to give you feedback about a task you performed. If this friend said it was good and nothing else, it can mean one of two things. Either that your friend did not participate or analyze the task, or that he or she is too worried about your feelings to tell you the truth. When giving feedback, the evaluator must observe critically, think carefully, and evaluate constructively. When your mind is coordinated to think critically, you take more informed decisions as you are better equipped to weigh your choices. You can provide feedback that is valuable, strengthening your relationships. Toastmasters evaluations can thus have a positive impact on the giver, the receiver, and the organization in the professional world and beyond. But prepared speeches and evaluations are not the only sessions at Toastmasters. There are also impromptu sessions.
Short speech is also called as table topics or impromptu talks. Table topics is a long-standing Toastmaster tradition intended to help members develop the ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. Simple 1 to 2 minutes impromptu speech can transform your communication and leadership skills. If you struggle with small talks or desire to give a good interview, table topics will help. Table topics typically begins after prepared speech presentation. Toastmaster will introduce the topics master, who will give a brief description of table topics and then call on the respondent at random. Your response should express your thoughts clearly, lasting 1 to 2 minutes. This helps train members to quickly organize and express their thoughts. Our first table topic speaker, Neil Shrestha, Childhood Memories. Childhood Memories, Neil Shrestha.
Hi, Bhavisha. So, when I think about childhood memories, I think about the time when I used to return home from school every day. I lived with my sister and live with my sister and my mother, and we used to return back at around 3 o'clock every day. And what used to happen was every time we used to come back, I used to remember my mom making tasty food for me. And this food, when I used to come back in front of the front door, I used to already smell and make out what my mom was making for me. And when I entered the door, I would guess the dish correctly and then head inside and then savor and have that dish and enjoy it very much. So much so that even when I used to score badly in my exam, I used to make it a point never to tell that to my mother, because otherwise she would scold me and threaten not to give me the dish. So when I think of childhood memories, it's always that time that I'm entering my house after a long day at school and enjoying that time with my family. Over to you, Bhavisha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Neil. Our second table topic speaker is Benzita, Pandemic Benzita.
Thank you, Bhavisha. The pandemic, I believe it needs no introduction. It was a very unexpected New Year's gift that we received in 2020. And it is one gift that doesn't seem to be going away. There is no return option on this gift, despite what all of us want. But what I would like to see the pandemic as, being a psychologist and having gone through the pandemic as a psychologist, what I have realized is the COVID was terrible, and I cannot deny that. It has had devastating effects, but we are slowly coming back. We are coping. What has also happened simultaneously is a invisible pandemic has spread, and that is what I would take from the topic pandemic, and that is the pandemic of mental health. Mental health was already crumbling with the modern lifestyle, with the lack of ignorance and the growing number of cases. And what the pandemic did was isolate these people, push their accessibility to help into even more towards a lesser chance where they could come out, put their priorities down, cut down their budget, and also took away the attention that people would have otherwise given to it.
It also created a lot of hue and cry where everyone said, take care of your mental health, but the stigma avoided anyone from actually reaching out. It has been so common for me to receive phone calls where people, friends, relatives tell, this is happening to me, but I don't know if it is a mental health concern. Should I go? Should I not go? The question wouldn't come if it was a headache. You would pester your doctor till you tell it's okay, you can take the paracetamol and go to sleep. But that it isn't the case with mental health, and that's definitely an invisible pandemic. So much so now that the lockdown is opening, all professionals are devastated by the amount of demand that is growing because people are also coming back and taking help. We might recover hopefully soon from COVID with vaccines, with precautions, but it definitely looks like it will take decades for the mental health pandemic that has started to recover. And I would like to use this opportunity, if possible, to tell my fellow Toastmasters, as well as all the youth out here who've joined us for the recording, be kind, take the time to educate yourself, be kind and have the mind to know about your heart, to know about your health, and spread awareness and do what you can. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Bhavishya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Benzita. Neil, could you share how table topics have helped you?
Yeah, sure. So I work as a mid-career professional in a financial services company, and being in middle management, what I've come to realize is that you are expected to answer to people who are more senior to you, while leading people who are junior to you at the same time. And many times, what happens is people come to you and they ask you questions which can put you on the spot. This happens a few times a day, and that's where table topics comes in for me. Thanks to getting onto the spot and answering a question that is just put to you, and practicing that every day, I've been able to answer questions easily, and in a way that increases my self-respect among in the eyes of fellow professionals. So that is something where table topics really has helped me. And sometimes I also use my wit to make people laugh, and sometimes make a humorous response to a question that would normally would that other people would really get flustered by. So that's what's really helped me. What about you, Benzita? How has table topics helped you? You can share something out.
Table topics has definitely been a very interesting section for me. It makes us good listeners, it makes us good speakers, it gives a lot of on the spot thinking. If you could go to a restaurant like Obas, and your prepared speeches are your classics, they are your gutbuds, your dilkush. You prepare well, it's gonna taste great, you're gonna have it and say, no one does it like this, and everyone's gonna clap. But then once in a while you find these weird things in the menu that we don't even know what it is, and you're like, let me give that a try. And it can go two ways. Either you will tell, why did I never take this before, this is even better than gutbud, so you can bomb that way. Or else you're going to tell, this is why they write it at the bottom of the menu, it's there at the bottom of the menu for this very specific reason. So you're going to bomb in a great way, or you're going to bomb in a very bad way. Either way, you get some action. So it's definitely worth going into. And especially the Toastmaster community is a very friendly, approachable community. And this is what I have seen. You get a table topic and you don't know what to do, and you stand there, and then you get the feedback. Despite you not speaking, you stood like a model. You were so good looking standing out there. And you say a few lines, they'll be like, I never thought of this idea. You said so many great things, and you could also do this. So there really isn't a negative. And I think that is what scares most of us from going to a table topic, that what if things go wrong? Well, they can't go wrong. They can go great, or people will tell you that they are great. And if you come to Mangalore Toastmasters, at least at the end of the day, you get free breakfast. So that is like maybe not pabas, but it's still something. Coming to my professional life as a psychologist, I have to talk to people. That is my bread and butter. And the skills that I've gained here definitely help. I would say it helps you connect to the other person because I am constantly looking at the other person, seeing what they feel, and then modifying my answers. And I think that is a very important skill. It's not about what you say, it's about how you realize what the other person needs to hear. And I think responding well is a skill that table topic gives you. And so you go there as a guest, you go as a member. If you attend a Toastmaster meeting, definitely try the table topic. It will be one of those choices on the menu that you have never tried before, and you'll get some action. Yeah, that's what I have to say. And over to you, Toastmaster Bhavishya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Benzita. Yeah, so this is how table topics are done in Toastmaster meeting. I would like to invite everyone to share their learnings from Toastmasters.
I first heard of Toastmasters when I was a student, and it helped me focus my thoughts and explore the leadership skills I thought I never had. Fast forward to 2021, I have joined Toastmasters recently as a professional and teaching the students at postgraduate level. Toastmasters has helped me reach out to them in an effective manner, sharpen my skills, communication, and overall presentation and delivery. Toastmasters has helped me fine-tune and organize my thoughts in a manner that can have a positive impact on the people. And along with preparing a powerful speech, I knew that evaluation and exploring different leadership roles like a grammarian or an evaluator or general evaluator were my shortcomings as a student. And I wanted to work on it when I recently joined Toastmasters. With the constant help and guidance from my mentor, I'm able to take up the roles, although a little nervous. I feel like I'm almost confident, but I still have a long way to go to explore more in Toastmasters. Over to you, Toastmaster Princita.
My time with Toastmasters began in about 12th standard when I attended another club's picnic meeting. And back then, when I was so stressed with exams and the future and everything, the really fun and supportive environment at a Toastmasters club really surprised me, and I got very eager to join. So I ended up joining Mangalore Toastmasters Club a couple of years back, and it's been a wonderful experience since then. So in addition to the obvious benefits of being a Toastmaster, like getting to know more new and different kinds of people, I think my time at Toastmasters preparing and planning and delivering speeches has helped me improve at putting a thought into words and communicating it effectively, a skill that came in very handy when I took up a part-time job teaching science. So I've understood the importance of sometimes saying something clearly over saying it in a fancy manner. So in addition to these skills of communication, I'm also currently serving as the Vice President Education at MTM, which is giving me new insights about how things are run and is an opportunity to learn to handle the responsibilities that come along with it. But most of all, I think the best part about Toastmasters for me as a student has been the wholesome atmosphere at MTM and the chance to interact with fellow Toastmasters and learn and grow while also enjoying myself in a fun and supportive environment. What about you, Toastmaster Sean?
Toastmasters is, for me, Toastmasters is a way to stick to, stay in touch with the English language. Since I'm in a condition where I speak in the local languages, which is Kannada and Tulu, I don't have the opportunity like we had it back in school, where we talk in English. But here, I don't have such situations now. So for me, Toastmasters is a place where I can speak in English, listen to what other people are saying, and I remember our president Toastmaster saying that, Sean, even if you're not prepared, even if you think that, even if you don't feel like coming, okay, you're not in the mood, but just plug in your earplugs and then join the meet. You're going to get something. You're going to get new phrases, new words, whatever it is. But that is the encouragement you get here. Everybody is like motivating you, encouraging you. It's a very friendly environment here. So that is Toastmasters for me. It's just a platform where I can keep growing, never stop growing. Yeah. Over to Toastmaster Fiona.
I have benefited immensely from Toastmasters mentoring. Every push and nudge that I've got from my mentors at Mangalore Club, be it role taking, participating in contests, or taking a leadership role, has opened up a world of opportunities for me. As before any big event, we feel the need to rehearse. You can rehearse and polish any and every skill you way beyond Toastmasters, way beyond the public speaking. Want to learn how to plan an event? Want to know how to debate? Want to publish a magazine? Do you want to polish your hosting skills? Do you want to see if people can tolerate your cooking? Experiment with Toastmasters and the result will shock you. But if you're experimenting with food, then let's hope that the results will be not so shocking. Far more than the skills I have learned from Toastmasters, Toastmasters has given me a massive self-esteem boost, which has turned my world upside down. Over to you, Toastmaster Yonel.
Prior to joining Toastmasters, I used to take up trainings and address small audiences. At that point in time, I had to deal with two things: managing anxiety and the content. My energies would be directed towards dealing with my anxieties, and the content delivery would suffer. In life, the only way to reduce anxiety is not to avoid it, but to walk through it. The more often you do it, the more confident you get. It's that simple, but of course not easy. In my opinion, Toastmasters is similar to net practice in cricket. For a match day like this, you need hours and hours of practice. Toastmasters gives you that platform and the practice. A couple of months back, during a felicitation of a family member by the Lions Club, the president gave me a notice of only 2 minutes to deliver the vote of thanks. I certainly felt anxious, but I had enough experience at table topics in Toastmasters that I could easily direct my energies on framing and forming the content rather than managing my anxieties. So that's been my experience at Toastmasters, and that's how I have benefited from this organization. Toastmaster Disha, what are your learnings?
Being one of the newest members of Toastmasters Club, I can tell you my experience there. I am somebody who used to do public speaking back in college days, and I had a break of many years in between. And only recently, when I had to go on stage to give an impromptu talk about the work I did in my laboratory, did I realize that I had lost most of my skills and could not communicate my ideas through. And I was quite nervous. I knew I had to remove the rust of the bar. By joining Toastmasters, I realized that this was the perfect place to do that. As here, there are people at various levels of learning, and everybody is very much ready to help you. Honestly, Toastmasters feels like a classroom, but the classroom with your favorite teacher who is fun and makes the class very light. Trust me, all the senior Toastmaster members here are way more cooler than any of your Gen Z or millennial friends. Toastmaster Club has definitely boosted my enthusiasm, and every day is a new learning. What do you have to say, Toastmaster Bhavishya?
As I'm an IT professional, I need to interact with my teammates and clients in frames mailed each day. That's why I decided to join Toastmaster. Learning is a never-ending process, and every Toastmaster meeting will surely learn something new. It's been a month since I joined Toastmaster, and I'm really loving the vibe it gives me whenever I attend the meeting. And the people in the team are really enthusiastic. I'm sure if you guys are part of Toastmasters, you'll surely love the experience. Over to you, Toastmaster Neil.
Yeah, that is a mute. Yeah, so for me, I have been a member of Toastmasters across the world in different clubs. I've been in Bangalore, Minneapolis in the United States, and Mangalore. And really, there are two learnings that I would take out of my time in Toastmasters, and that firstly is that Toastmasters teaches you how to get rid of your hesitancy. So if you feel hesitant in taking up roles, practicing taking up roles will actually help you build that confidence. and you would be able to take up roles which will benefit you in both in your professional and personal life. The second thing what Toastmasters has really taught me is that people are not as harsh as you think they are. If you have that fear, people at Toastmasters will gladly be able to give you advice. They will gladly laugh at your jokes, even though they may not be funny. And and sometimes they might offer an encouraging word when you most need it. And that is what Toastmasters actually gives you. So it is to take life a lot more easier going forward. So that is what Toastmasters has taught me, and what I've learned from Toastmasters. Over to Benzita to tell her what she's learned.
Thank you. And this is hoping you all are still listening to us telling why you need to join in. What I would say is I have been someone who has loved to speak. I've been giving speeches since childhood or school. And to those of you out there who feel I am good at this, I do speak. Well, here's the news for you. If you need to speak, you need a community that will listen. Over the course of years, what happened, I had my classmates, I had competitions, I had college where I could speak to someone. But then people get bored of listening to you talk and talk and talk. And then you move on to work where they just want you to submit the deadlines and nothing else. But you are still passionate about speaking and you are a good speaker. And Toastmasters would be that community where they are going to pay their membership fee, turn up on time, just to listen to you speak. And what bigger of an ego boost do you need? It will sharpen your ideas, you will get feedback, and there are also going to be people who will enjoy listening to you. And as someone who genuinely has a passion for public speaking, it is a very great community to join. It doesn't just make good speakers out of you, it makes good listeners. Look at the 8 of them. They have heard my jokes at the recordings. They have heard it when I have rehearsed it, and they are still listening so nicely and still laughing like such an earnest audience. So it doesn't just make you good speakers, it makes you really, really effective listeners, good listeners. So let me tell you, in Toastmasters, you can learn how to set an event, how to talk, how to listen. You can do all of that. But you can also get a circle that goes beyond that and adds to your life a network of people that you can reach out to at any point for anything. That's what Toastmasters has been for me personally. And that is why I come back and I stay connected. Just like you have your youth community, this is similar, and we would love to invite you here. And having shared all of our experiences, I hand it back to Toastmaster Sunita.
Thank you all for sharing your experience. I'd like to add one of my own. Being an experienced Toastmaster can sometimes make you complacent. I've given so many speeches, evaluated so many speakers, and dived into so many table topics. But recently, one of my evaluators gave me the push I needed to wake up. She said, I score a tick mark on all the usual requirements: eye contact, voice modulation, body language, presentation. And then she paused and smiled and said very gently, now, why don't you challenge yourself and see what you can do to make yourself better, to take your skills to the next level? And I realized that is exactly what I need to work on now. Toastmasters is a community of like-minded people, just like the members of the ICYM. We have a common goal. We come together, we work together, we learn together, and we grow together. On behalf of Toastmasters International and fellow Toastmasters from my club, I welcome you to our community. to share our experience, and to allow us to benefit from sharing yours. Thank you.